And where were you
born?
Born both in the same city, Lodz. Lodz. Polish is Lodz.
L-O-D-Z.
Yeah. Lodz in Poland. A very big city. They used to call it the second Manchester in Europe. Yeah.
What did they make mostly?
Everything.
Materials,
whatever.
For overcoats, for suits,
they,
for pants.
They feed it to whole Russia and everybody from Europe. Everybody bought from Poland these things.
What did your father do, Grandma?
My father was
the
wholesale of. He brought cattle.
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 Yeah, cattle.
The tea. Cattle.
Like steaks?
No,
yeah.
The whole thing.
Okay.
The wagons. They came. He used to go to Russia. He stayed there a few weeks, and he used to buy.
Every cow had a tail. Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah.
This is the same thing.
Yeah.
And he brought this thing, all wagons. It cost him the thousands and thousands in gold, Russian gold rubles, because Russia was that time over Poland. In 100 years, Russia had
control.
Yeah.
Control over Poland. And Poland got wie heißt es, liberated. They got liberated at 1918 when the war was over and the Poles got back Poland.
So, what did your father do?
My father was a tailor.
A tailor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 5 brothers and 4 sisters. And brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws and children.
A big family.
Very, very big.
So what your father did was made a lot of money.
Oh, he made a lot of money.
He
took care of us, and we all went to private schools, gymnasium they used to call it in Poland. And we did the best we could. I hope.
And your father, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I came from a family 11, 8 brothers and 3 sisters. My father never make a living, just like make a lot of children.
And let's see, Gramps, how did you choose to be a barber?
You see, they brought up children in the house that every body should have a trade. When they grow up and they're going to make a little bit money, you have to share into the family. Otherwise, the house never can exist.
Right.
So I was a barber. My other brother was a barber too. One brother was a tailor. And one brother was they were small children.
He was a printer.
Printer, yeah.
What age did you begin to do the barbering? When did you? How old were you?
When I I was 12 years old.
They didn't work. They go like here, you get license, you go 3 months to school, No, they had to be a few years.
You work, who did you
3
work
years
for?
I have to
3
be
years.
in practice in the barber
And he
shop.
became one of the best.
And after this, he came out, you don't even know how to hold the scissors and the razor. I have to go to another place to learn how to work. But I was, they took me not for a barber, they took me for a maid,
Yeah, you,
cleaning the house, but the barber shop and the house was together.
you swept
That
up.
took care in the house.
Yeah.
Barbering.
And that's how he learned. He didn't take money from the father.
Then I got a janitor, and the janitor was an old man, and he wants to save money for a shave. He came to me and says, "Nobody's here, give me a shave." I don't even know how to hold a razor.
So
Just,
that's how
you know, I give him a shave, and I cut him here. You have to call for an ambulance. Yeah.
That was your first one?
Yeah. So the next day, my boss saw him. He says, "What happened to you?" "Oh," he says, "nothing." Then he found out that I shaved him. Oh, he smacked me good.
You get in trouble for that.
I have to know, when he came to this country, he got the right-of-way license.
Really?
Was the best barber when he went for an examination. He couldn't speak a word of English, but he got right-of-way license. They saw his work.
So after you were a barber for a little while, you joined the army. Is that right?
Yeah.
They drafted me, yeah.
They drafted
Yeah,
you.
they broke out the war between Poland and the Bolsheviks. They drafted me, and I was a year the first time.
How old were you?
That time I was 18.
18. So you had been a barber for a while.
Yeah,
You were working in a shop,
yeah,
and they drafted you.
yeah. So after this, I finished. The war was over. I got free. 2 years I was working. Then they took me for to the regular army for 2 years, 22 and 23.
What did you do in the army?
I got very good. I was working in the officers' club,
Uh-huh.
and I made good money.
He took
I
care of
never
him.
ate a dinner in the camp. I used to always eat outside in the restaurants. My father always used to say, "I am better off than the president from Poland."
But did you just take care of them, or were you a barber in the army?
Care of whom?
Of the office.
The officers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Were you a barber? Did you cut hair in the army?
No, yeah,
Not
sure.
for the soldier.
I was a soldier. Yes, I was working in the officers' club.
Were you ever sent to the front lines?
In the beginning, yes. Then they took me back, and they put me to the officers' club.
Tell him
That
how
was in the wartime. In Minsk,
were you running, tell him, from the Russians.
when the Cossacks started to run after us, he was running from Kiev to Warsaw.
So you were in Kiev,
Kiev, yeah.
and then you ran all the way back.
Yeah.
Did you see any action? Did you fight?
I was in the company for machine guns.
The artillery?
Maxim
No?
08.
That's what you were.
They almost
Yeah,
came
the
alive.
heavy one.
Tell him how you almost came alive.
When I was running, I got full in the pants.
Oh yeah.
The Bolsheviks, like, yes, yeah, and
Then the officers, the big high officer says, take out the main machine from the machine guns. But this was going in a minute 250 bullets. So take out the machines and throw it in the ocean. That the Russians should not take the machine in tin on and started to shoot them
Then you
out.
ran all the way
Yeah.
back. What time of the year was it?
That was
1914 start the war.
before 1914, 18, but 27, 26.
19.
Yeah, 1926.
1926. How could it be? 27 you got married. It must have been Italy, March.
Maybe 25.
25.
When he came out from the army, we got engaged.
Okay,
And
let's back up to the engagement. How did you meet?
his brother was a friend in our house, and he asked me on my sister's birthday if he can bring his brother. He's a soldier, he came for furlough.
So he was still in the army,
He was still
Yeah.
in the army, that's why. I
man in
think-
uniform.
Yeah.
He looked like a general.
And he was dressed nice because if he worked for the officers, he could have been dressed better and everything, and they were nice to him. If not, you know how it was in the Polish army. I don't want to say anything.
So we're talking about how you met.
So he came over, and he liked the house. It was a big house, and we had a maid, we had a cook.
How did she look when you first saw her,
Who?
Grandma?
He
Like
knew,
better table.
no, he knew he would like. He wanted his sister to marry right away his older brother, but I said no. I mean, he was a nice man. He was a decent. He was a decent man and a nice man. So we picked just him from the family, and then we got married. We got married. It was a very, very big wedding. It was a wedding from in the afternoon.
How did he propose to you?
He gave me money when he worked that I should go and buy roses for the wedding. He didn't know anything.
She always is complaining that I don't bought her a diamond. She says to my father, you see, I married a poor boy, now you don't even buy me a diamond. He says, what for you need a diamond? You have a diamond in me.
No, he wanted to buy me a diamond, and I said, do you have the money? And he said, no. So I said, I don't need anything, and I don't want you to pay up from you pay. We have, and I'm not going to marry a worker. You have to see that you should have your own shop. So my father made him calls with the oldest son, the one who was in Australia, you know, and he said to him, take care that he should have his own shop. So you should see the shop they built him. People were coming from the whole city. It was almost 1 million people.
This was your own shop.
It was his own shop.
Did you have people who worked for you?
Oh, got four people working for men, but I got 2 stores. One store was the barber shop, and the other store was the beauty shop.
It's not 2 stores. It's the
So
same
one store make of 2.
And that
I make cabins.
Cabins. So you don't say 2 stores. It was, and he has maybe more than 10 people.
4 people was working in the barber shop, 2 was working in the beauty shop, and 2 girl manicure, and 2 boys printers. About 10 people.
A good business.
Yeah,
Very
he had a very good business. So I could, then I had...
I'm going to have a business in America, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah, that's right. And we made a nice living, and I knew how to be a housekeeper. I didn't work. I took care of my child. I was married 1927 in May, and my first child was born 1928 in July. So then I was a housekeeper, but whenever I had time, because they were going to school on Saturdays in Poland, it was a big gymnasium.
Were you living in your own house at that time?
No, in Poland you didn't have houses.
No. Where were you living when you had?
I had
when you
rent.
tenants.
We paid
When
rent.
you had Irene.
Yeah, I had a
You paid rent.
yeah, room and a kitchen, in a little room for the maid to sleep.
But you had a maid.
Yeah, and I was I had my own not bathroom, no, you know, toilet too.
That was a big thing.
Yeah, that was a very big thing in Poland.
Some
But
people,
he-
they got no toilet, they have to
you
go
know,
5 miles
I
in
tell
the
you
back.
The outhouse. Yeah.
why he got it, because he was so good in his job that the landlord who had a house, my God, like New York, you know, a whole,
mansion.
not a mansion, a house, my God, with
It's a beautiful apartment.
You know, not apartments, a full house like the New Yorkers have, in the back, in the front, in the yard. In the thousands of people who work, live there. So he liked him very much because he was a good barber. And in Europe, they didn't take care of themselves, the men. They went to the barber shop for a shave. because they didn't know how I made that time. It wasn't that men shaved here maybe too. I don't know they did. So he had a barber. He liked him so much, so he gave him that barber shop. He said, "I'm not going to charge you anything. Just make yourself a business and be here."
The same landlord?
The same landlord, yeah. So he made it.
What was his name? Do you remember?
Moscovich.
Yeah, Moscovich. Yeah, very wealthy man. All his sons in those
You know,
days-
and I got a barber shop and a beauty shop from the society, from the city. High class. So
all bankers,
when somebody came in,
directors,
when somebody came in,
manufacturers,
when somebody came in from the street and he was, listen, don't have to be wear a tuxedo, just he have to be dressed proper. So when he came in, he was not so. I told him right away, you know, this is a place that's going to be too much money for you to pay for a shave. And that time was 50 cents a shave. That was a lot of money. Not American money, just Polish money. A lot of. He said, I can't afford to pay that. That's what I want.
High class people owned it.
yeah, they came
It was in a nice part of
ambassador.
I got bankers,
Ambassador in the
manufacturers, and doctors.
It was in a nice part of the town?
yes, right in center, near like the Fifth Avenue.
In which?
That they used to call Piotrkowska.
Yeah, like
Piotrkowska.
Boylston Street in Boston.
Yeah. No, Newbury Street.
Newbury Street,
Yeah.
all right.
Piotrkowska, Newbury Street. That's right.
Okay, so now let's talk about Irene and Sylvia.
So I got after 3 years, I got the other one. I thought I want to have a boy, but it didn't come.
You're disappointed you had
I was
another.
terribly disappointed, and I said to him, I'm not going to have 8 daughters. This is enough. So I had 2 girls. They had the best education. I said, I have to give my children not an education like your father gave you. I didn't mention father, like you had. And they have to go to a private school, and they have to learn a trade. That they should know how to take care of themselves, and they don't have to wait for to get a boy that he should work for them. So I picked up all these things. Irene had a very beautiful face. I said she's going to go until she finished school in the 8 classes. In the last 2 classes is almost like college. So I will send her to Paris, and she's going to come back. So she
Designer.
a head designer. She can open a store on Fifth Avenue in Anna Piotrkowska ulica, and she can be a mensch, a human being. And then Sylvia came, and she was so good with the needle. I bought her a doll. She made a coat, and she made a dress, and she made a hat, and she makes shoes. I said, she is going to be a dress designer. And that's what I wanted to do when she finished school. But when Hitler came, she couldn't even go to school. She was 6 years old.
Before that, before we get to that,
Yeah.
how did you name Sylvia and how did you name Irene?
Sylvia, their first name after his mother is named Irene. In mine, Sylvia is named after my mother. But you see, in the Jewish religion, comes that I should have the first name. So we went to a rabbi, and we asked because he said he wants his mother's name. So he said, don't bother,
Don't have an argument.
Don't have an argument.
And I
with
want
him.
it. Let him have it.
Let have
The
the
next
husband,
kid, when you're gonna have.
husband, you know, the husband is the first. If he wants his mother, give the mother's name. So we
Even
named.
though she was living? Is that right?
No.
No, you can't do it when she's
No.
living.
No.
Yeah.
So I named her Irene, and Sylvia was after my mother. My mother had 2 names. I didn't want to have 10 names on the name. And she's not going to sit always in Poland. She's going to travel. So I made her Sylvia. When I came to the drugstore for a prescription from the doctor, every drugstore said to me, what a beautiful name. Where did you get that name?
Sylvia Sidney.
Yeah.
Irene down,
Oh,
the
stop it.
Irene up.
That's where you get the name.
No, yeah, yeah. I like these two names. Apartment, toilet, and bathroom. You know, that was in Poland. That's why they made me mad when they start saying, my mother didn't have a floor. They looked at. There were people like in the country here. There were poor people rich, but here they have it easier because America gives them.
Who makes a living in Europe was rich.
Yeah.
All you have to do is make a living.
You don't have to have money. And I never got money, and I was living like a millionaire.
Yeah. I didn't ever have a penny in the bank, and I went every year for 10 weeks. Do you have it? Is it going?
Yep.
For 10 weeks with mine two daughters. He worked. He came for the weekend in a maid, and I was 10 weeks there.
The last bottle.
Okay. Keep going.
Are you going to what?
No, I'm just going to get some
The
rough
side.
glasses.
The side.
Here,
Yeah.
I got it. Go ahead.
The air
You're going for
conditioner.
10 weeks
Did you
to-
close the air conditioner?
No, we don't need to close it.
No. Okay.
No. You're talking about the spa.
Yeah, I went not to spa, to to the village, because we live in a big town, in a factory town, you know, where it's a lot of the factories,
Pollution.
the pollution and everything. God knows what it was. We didn't know that time with the pollution. So I went away for the whole 10 weeks. What they had vacation with the two girls. I rented a room and a kitchen in the woods, and we had a little everything. And then
What town did you go to? Do you remember?
yes, the first time I went, what was it? I forget.
Krashev,
No,
Vishneva Gora.
no, Vishneva Gora
Kolumna?
second, no.
Not Chelsea.
No, it was Vishneva Gora, and it was Krashev, and it was, then we went, when he started already to make a nicer living, we went to better places. Like here, Chelsea, they go to Brookline. So I went to Kolumna. Kolumna was beautiful. And we had we enjoyed it. We had already water in the beach, in everything.
Where is this? This is on a lake.
This is on a lake, and this
In
is
Poland.
In Poland, near Kalisz, where you go to we had to go a half an hour on a train. Yeah. So we there 10 weeks, and the children were enjoying it. And I bought Irene the first bicycle when she was 9 years old. She was known in our city. When she came to the main street, the policeman stopped everything and let her go. That's what she was. And
She was riding on horses too. She was not afraid.
she was
Your mother, yeah.
yeah.
Quite an athlete.
She was 5 years old. I took her to the skating ring, and I just left her for a minute, and then she was already, they called it the period on the, when you write a letter, you make a period.
Mhm.
They called it the period on the
Ice.
on the ice.
When we went
She
for
was
the
that
summer resort, I always used to rent a horse. For me, and for her a pony. So we was riding together. Yeah,
I heard you were a soccer player too.
I used to be.
Yeah.
You used to play soccer with a team
A team, yeah.
in the army.
No,
Yeah, they didn't play soccer.
Before that or after?
before. I was a young boy, 16, 15.
Okay.
Me or she?
No, you ever can go
Go
in
ahead.
the
Grandma
shop.
can start, and if you
I
have something to
came,
add.
I came with the two children from the vacation, and I saw placards on all the walls,
The
wherever
corners.
you all the corners.
Can you remember what year?
1939.
No.
1939, in the war, a war with Germany. And believe me,
What did the placard say?
you should be careful, don't speak to Germans, and don't take German maids. They all spies. and don't do this, and don't do that with the Germans. We have a lot of Germans in Lodz, because this was a factory city. What a lot of Germans came from
But not
Germany.
Not from Germany, born in Poland, Germans.
The Germans came from Germany to build factories.
From German descent.
From German, yeah, and they made big factories, and they had the biggest factories in Poland. All the Germans.
So
They
these-
switch right away to the Germans. The same Polish Germans, they shake hands, we are friends.
Those have to do with Yetako. So how the Germans came, the Germans, that was the war, yeah, before the war. In the minute he said that he is going to war, he was where? In Poland.
Took over.
I don't know how, in what, they
In a
were
very,
right.
very short time.
The
took
next
over.
day he was already in Poland. I was afraid that the children, it's going to happen something, and I lived right in the town, so I was afraid they're going to come to town and kill all the children, so I grabbed the two children.
But all the children, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was it anti-Semitic at this point, or was it just
Anti-Semitic.
It was-
Anti-Semitic
yeah,
too?
that's- yeah.
So when was
So-
the first that you knew it was going to be more anti-Semitic?
It was right
The
away.
Polacks
because-
went together with the Germans.
There were some maybe Polacks what they didn't, but we lived in that town what we didn't know. Maybe in other towns very up there where the Germans knew the Jews and they had business with them. We didn't know any of these Polacks. We only know the Polacks who went with my daughters to school.
So how did the Polish people, when the Germans came in, how did they receive them?
They didn't receive nothing. You have to lay down
He went in
quiet.
with power.
They went in. When I went to see, because the first bomb in Hitler gave a buffet, how you say,
Order.
an order not to
Destroy Lodz.
Lodz.
But it's a lot of Germans.
Because the factories, he
Yeah.
need the factories for himself, so not to destroy it. So they came in I was running to see where the children are, because I put them in some place, because I knew a bomb fell there, and in my house didn't fell a bomb, so I said, what did I do? I took the children away there, and they can be killed there, so I right away put on a kerchief on my head, and I looked like a communist, like a Russian, and I dressed up like a poor communist, you know, and I was going in the right corner from the church, and from the house where my children were there, they were standing, the Germans I saw them the first time.
That was the first time you saw them?
I saw the Germans, they looked like tigers, worse. They hold almost on me, they hold like this. And whoever was a Jew going by, they right away beat him. They didn't kill him in the street, but they beat him. So then I took my children and came back home, because I saw what I saw. We were 4 or 5 brothers, in another brother-in-law, the one who lives in New York, he's alive, my sister and the child not. So they all start running to Warsaw. They thought maybe the Polacks will have a war, and they're not going to let him go so far. And here this is a German town in near Germany, so they came the first. So they came.
They took over Warsaw too.
And you know what? Tell them how you walked in the hundreds
I
of
walked
the hundreds of Jewish
miles
people.
in the night time
Was
to run away. They says it's safe to be in Warsaw. I went to Warsaw, and then from Warsaw they says it's not safe in Warsaw, you have to go to Russia.
How did you get to Warsaw?
by
walking.
foot.
Walking.
He came back.
So describe that. There were lots of people, all the
in
Jews.
the
in the
hundreds of people.
thousands.
And then the Germans saw the Jews run away,
So-
so they flew down
No.
and throw bombs.
The Germans throw leaflets, and they're going to come in, they're going to find a man, a Jew, they're going to kill him. So all the Jews took together and they ran away from the city
Yeah,
to
so-
Russia.
So they start bombing.
So,
So-
he was bombing the people walking to the war, so
That's
they
what
killed
I
the
said.
thousands of people. Who is?
That's what I just said in discussion.
That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, and
They
you
were
were
bombing.
in Lodz
I
with the
was
children,
with the children alone.
and
alone.
Grandpa went to see if it was
Yeah,
safe in
with the
Warsaw.
maid alone.
That's why you went to Warsaw to see if it was safe.
Yeah.
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 So
He was
came,
on the border Russia in Poland for 6 weeks in the snow and rain and terrible weather. He was yelling, "Long live Stalin! Long live Stalin!" So finally, he decided to let in the people to Russia.
But
Because
you
he
were not
wants
there.
for something for this. That everybody who came into Russia has to be a Russian citizen. They're going to draft into the army.
right away.
So some says, "Oh, I left my wife." Some says, "I left my father." Then they don't say, "I want to be a citizen." They send them right away to Siberia.
So they sent him out to Siberia.
So-
But he came back, so you never saw such a thing in your
Then
life.
they send all the people.
How long was he gone?
How long were you walking?
A month.
He came back, he was a dead man, swung like this. Oh,
And
I
what
thought
did you do for the month that you were there in Lodz
I
alone?
had Christian workers. They all came, they opened the store in what they made.
The barber shop.
Yeah, in the barber shop. They took what they need and they gave me.
To live.
So I had, yeah, so I had for the...
One man, a beautician, was working for me 16 years. He was was an excellent beautician. He was such a fine boy. I went to his 3 sisters to the weddings. Everything gorgeous, beautiful. So and he was working for me. And I still got the barber shop in the city, but they sent the most of the people to the ghetto. So a woman came in, she was the secretary from the Gestapo. And she was talking to him, and I was listening to everything what he says to her.
In German.
To him, yeah, in German. I hear how she says, oh, she was a Polish German, not
yeah,
a Polish
so
one.
she knew the language.
She says to him, to whom this barber shop belongs. So he says to a Jewish fellow, how long you work for him? So many years. He says he was very, very good to me. He was a nice man to me, everything fine. Did you like to have that business for yourself? He says, yes. So he make it a permanent, he make it everything fine, beautiful. In 3 days, I'm going to come back. You're going to fix me up the hair, and I'm going to bring you a permit. This is your
This
place.
is yours.
This is your place. Now here is everything. When she went away, he came in. So I says, Edward, his name was Edward. Edward, you think that I was not listening what you were saying to the secretary of the Gestapo? You, all right, you going to take it? No, I don't. The fact is, the next day he brought me food from the house, horse meat. Yes, I don't even know it's horse meat. It was very, very good. And he was planning to take away the business from me. The house where I used to live was already the landlord, the Jewish landlord, Levine. I remember still Levine out. And a commissar took over the whole house. The commissar was my customer too. He was very good to me. In fact, he brought both the children were sick. He brought the medicine for them.
So how much time had gone by since they invaded?
Short.
Very,
A
very.
couple of months.
No, a couple of
No,
weeks.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You could, but the Germans, you could count the
My
days.
brother will make a plan until they're going to come to Lodz. It's going to take 2 months. 3-4 days later, they step into Lodz. So,
What happened when Grandpa came back from Warsaw?
It was very bad.
Then
They had
what
to
did you
run
do?
away again.
You had to run away.
No, we didn't know what to do, but he couldn't already run. He was sick and swollen. So he said, whatever happens is going to happen, I'll stay in with you. So then we had to go to the ghetto.
They rounded you up?
We ran there, and they made the Jews to put us wherever.
Yeah.
Right away had to be, my brother-in-law was an educated man, so he was giving us right away a
An
place,
apartment.
1 room. You couldn't get any more. A room, You should have a bed, only one bed in a room, in a little kitchen, and that's all.
Wait a minute. The same guy, when he took over the barber shop, he came to me. I was out. I was in the ghetto. The ghetto was open, but everybody can come in. Then they close up. Nobody can come in. Polish people to the Jewish ghetto.
This is in Warsaw.
Yeah, no, the Lodz.
Lodz.
So he came to me to the ghetto and he says, "I want a favor from you."
This is Edward?
Edward, I want a favor from you. You have a machine for permanents. You don't use it. Now comes Easter, and I can make a few dollars from in my house.
Yeah, you put the tables upside down.
Like sleds.
Yeah,
was going to the
in the
it was
winter.
winter time, snow.
Yeah, and we put all what we could into the table, and everybody was
So
holding.
the war was over.
And the Germans were staying with cameras in making pictures and sending to their wives some to show what they did to the Jews.
How they put you into the ghetto, into the concentration camps.
They liquidated a lot of the ghetto. They sent the people
You
to the
have a red
concentration
now.
camps.
They liquidated the ghetto.
They rounded you up and they put you into the ghetto.
And the
In Lodz.
Jewish people were looking, they got so and so much from the Germans, but we had to work. Sylvia even had to work, and she was 12 years not old.
What did they do? Talk
They
about
send
life
them-
in the
They
ghetto.
make
send them to
furniture for
factory.
children. She was working in a factory for children's furniture. And Irene was a cook in a kitchen. She give out soups.
And I worked in a place where they brought clean laundry, what they took away from all the killed Jews in the concentration camps, what they killed them, they gassed them. They took all this and they washed this and they sent it back to Poland, and we had to sortie this and to make this nice and send it back to Germany.
And what were you doing, Grandpa, during the time you were in the ghetto?
When we came to the ghetto, they separate us.
Oh,
I didn't know if he is alive, he didn't know if we are alive.
that's the part where
The
you
men,
first were separated.
yeah.
So what were you doing in the ghetto?
In the ghetto, I was working a little bit from house to house barbering. No, not for money. One give me a potato, one give me a piece of bread, one give me a piece of this. So I brought this home.
And that something is mostly when you were in concentration camp,
I'm
you were
talking the
in
ghetto.
We're talking about
from
the
the
ghetto.
ghetto,
The
yeah.
ghetto now. So you were in the ghetto. Where were you living when you were in the ghetto?
We got one room in a little barber shop. In
the room,
In the room.
in front.
Yeah.
In the back we were sleeping.
You're separate. In
No,
the
we
ghetto?
were together.
we were together with the children.
This is when you're in the ghetto. You
Yeah.
were okay.
That's when they sent us to the concentration camp.
That's when you separated. Okay. So
But when we were in ghetto, I saved her too. Irene saved her. They came to our city, they came to my street, there where we all lived, in groups, and they were shooting and yelling all Juden out.
Out.
So we went out, we had to right away to make lines
this is in the ghetto.
in the ghetto. So one came, a German, he was so handsome and tall, maybe 6 foot tall.
A soldier.
Yes, Olje, who knows who he was, how he could do it. He saw Sylvia with her scary face and the big eyes. Don't let me talk too much, I'm not going to talk.
No, go ahead.
And he said, come on, Kindchen. So nice, like he would give her a candy. And he put her right away
The
on
truck.
the truck.
She took.
He put her on the truck with the old people. But they were already making everything in the truck on the floor and crying,
Yelling.
not yell. What could they yell? They cried. Where would they yell? And they start going to other houses to looking for children. So my Irene had so many young boys, what they were firemen in the ghetto, but they worked for the German. And she said, save my sister, she's on the truck. So the boys, when the Germans went in to a big big apartment stores. They shut out, you know. They grabbed her and they put her back. And then everybody said, oh, they took Sylvia. They took Sylvia. And she got right away sick. Oh, I can't talk. She became yellow.
Laryngitis.
She got, what do you call it?
Laryngitis, yeah. Yellow,
Laryngitis?
Yeah.
Jaundice.
Jaundice. She became, and we came into that room where I live. I put her right to bed. And everybody came in and they said, oh, do you see what he did? They saved her. That time, your mother was too going, the stepmother.
Yeah, my stepmother.
We saw her through the window. We saw her, and they put her on the trucks.
They take trucks
They
one
put
by
them
one and they send them to the gas
to
chamber,
the guest chamber.
to Auschwitz.
So I saved her already
Twice.
twice.
Okay, let's stop there for a minute. Let's talk about how that happened. When did you first move from the ghetto to the concentration camps?
We was not together.
No.
We were separate.
Okay.
We
So-
were together. They took us all and closed up the ghetto, men and women and children. They put us in wagons. You know,
Were you together or separate at that point?
we were all together in wagons, in
Yeah.
the wagons.
You, the whole family?
The men and the women, they were taking us, packed clothes like animals, and we were laying on the floor, crying and this. One man who let us up, a German, when we walk up the big wagon, must look at Sylvia. He gave her in the hand a few cookies. Can you imagine, a German?
So you're with lots of other families?
Yeah,
The
all we
commanders
were,
were not supposed to know, but he did, that soldier.
we were all laying on the floor.
Yeah.
And
Did
then-
they allow you to take anything with you?
Nothing, just you went and you didn't know where. We knew as we go into our deaths. We all knew. So when we came to Auschwitz, they took him right away. So I was left over with the two children. They made a line and we all were together. So the one who was an older German called out that whoever is not 18 years old should step out. And Sylvia was 12 years old. But Irene looked like 20. She was beautiful, tall. She worked in the kitchen, so she ate soups and potatoes. So we closed her, and he didn't see her. But when we went out to a room where they took all the hair off,
Dr. Mengele.
and the Hackmann they took us out right away to make us a bath
So you're
and everything to put in a disinfection.
you're in a big line.
Naked, all naked.
You're in a big
The
line. when
men
you
were
go-
separate and the women separate. In whatever we had, the others what were longer were yelling to us, maybe you have a golden watch, maybe you have something, throw it to us because you're never going to come out from this. So we didn't have anything, they took it away.
You're in a big room and they're.
And
they
then it
cut
was
your
not
hair.
a room, it was just like factories. Like factories, and that was the Auschwitz, a big factory, wasn't it?
The chamber, the gas chamber.
Yeah.
How did
And so they
You
took
said-
us there, and then we had to take the hair they took off. And that Chixie, who took my hair off with the machine, she saw the two children. She said to me, if they call out that she should step out, cover her, don't let her go out. But she didn't tell me that they're going to take him right to
Sylvia.
the gas chamber. Yeah, that was Sylvia. So we saved her life this way. And we got into a...
Did they called out for her and you protected
No,
her?
they didn't call out. They just went through. It wasn't the hundreds of people. There was big lines. So they went here and there. Whoever they saw a child, they grabbed her out.
You took me to, we
They-
was in the same concentration camp, just we don't not no
He
connection.
didn't
She don't know that
recognize us because we were all shaped to look like wild people.
You know, he asked, who is here a barber? I says, I am a barber. Took me out. I started to cut hair. Oh, you know how? You left all the hair, just 4 fingers, like a prisoner.
Yeah,
and he give me a bread. He give me a bread, maybe 3 pounds of a bread. And I have to go to make a disinfection with the feet, like a little, how you say?
Stinking stuff, what they put into
They put in Lysol.
Yeah, so they put the bread
and you
into.
have to soak that bread. You have to eat. You know what I was smelling?
Lysol. You see, that's what they gave you. They gave you poison too.
Lye.
Yeah.
Huh?
Lye? What did they put in the bread?
No, the bread was bread,
but
but you have to soak the bread in that water and the Lysol.
They had to make the disinfection for the people.
Yeah, yeah. The same thing, but you soak the feet, you have to soak the bread too.
So, what did you do in the concentration
They
camp?
beat him, I heard. Didn't they beat the men all when you were staying out? The Ukrainians.
What was your...
You know, I got different jobs. One time I was working on the railroad station, 14 people. It was a sergeant, a German, and 3 soldiers, and a foreman, a civilian. He was working, beating, in torturing, terrible, the worst thing what you ever saw in your life. The sergeant says to me when I was
knocking
the stones, he says, come on here, come to me. Tell me, do you do the same thing when you was not in here? I says, no. What was your trade when you was in the home? I was a barber. He looked at me. Barber, he knows when he comes in a barber shop, the barber is dressed nice and white, clean, beautiful. And I was a mess. He said, you was a barber? And he says to me, remember. Right away he says to me, order, remember. Tomorrow morning I'm going to bring scissors, an electric clipper, a razor, you're going to give me a shave and a haircut. And I'm going to find out that you are not a barber. First of all, I was not sleeping all night. I was a barber, and I was afraid what he says. Listen to them. Next morning, he brought scissors, with clipper, and everything, and I gave him a haircut and a shave. You know, in a boot, when it's raining, the soldier is inside. I cut him the hair and I give him a shave. After this, he says, you know, you are a barber. I says, I told you that I am a barber. He wants to take money from the pocket to pay me. I says, I don't want the money from you. Yes, I want a piece of bread. Something to eat. He was a nice man. He says, wait. First of all, he told the 3 soldiers, when you're going to need a haircut and shave, we have here a barber. And he took me off right away from the dairy works. And I was working in the office from the man, but he stops the train with the red hat. He told me we have a good barber here. And I was working, cleaning, making the fire, everything. I got a paradise, Tomorrow morning, he was not eating the same dinner, but the soldier was not eating the same dinner, but we ate. We got a special kitchen for them. The poor 14 boys, they were suffering, working. Just tomorrow I'm going to take you with me. You're going to take the dinner for the 3 soldiers and for me. And he says in the kitchen to give him some more in heavier stuff. We brought this. I went with him the next day. He came home. He was not eating. He gave it to me. Just I'm not going to eat. I don't have to. I'm going to be full with food. They're going to hang. We went in for dinner. What he delivered the dinner was a water soup. I brought him this. And open the eyes.
You brought up things from the officer's table.
Yeah, in the so all right. The sergeant says to me, he got thrust on me. We ate dinner. He says we're going to go for a rest in the place, not a room, just where you put in straw, hay for the horses. You lay down for a rest. The Germans, they are used to take a rest. So they went in, all three soldiers in the sergeant. He was laying there. He told me, remember, you have to watch. And the lieutenant, not the lieutenant, the hope of like a colonel in the American army, but he is going to come knocking the thing to let us know that he is coming. All of a sudden, I look around, I saw on a hill stays a man that was far away from me.
Looking.
With the binocular.
Yeah, so what they doing there?
He saw everything. And I says, all right, until he's going to come down from there, it takes a lot of time. I don't know how he made it. Maybe 10 minutes. I saw him, he's walking, I went to the Hauptmann is here. Come right way out. I knock again, he's already here. He saw me that I did it. So they came out and they started to make the monkey business, the soldiers and the sergeant, and they beat them in the work. Then he came to me and he says, did you tell him that I'm coming? I says to him, Nein, Herr Bürgermeister. Did you tell him that I'm coming? 3 times I says no. So he says, I got a call. After the call, I got my number on the camp. Open your jacket. Because I started to make such a
I have to say what he said to the lieutenant, what you took care of him.
Wait a minute, I'm coming.
Before the lieutenant.
No. He says, now you make the monkey business and I can open the jacket. So he says to me, linksum, marsch. And he kicked me with his boot in the back.
He asked the lieutenant what he took care. And he said to him, did he wake you up? He said, yes. That's why he did that.
The same sergeant, I was mad on him when he called him. He says, tell me that he told you that I'm coming. He says, jawohl, Herr Bürgermeister.
That's why he was beaten.
So that's why he kicked me in the behind. And then I was mad on that sergeant. And he went away. He says to him, you son of a bitch, when you're going to have business with the Jews, you're going to get it too. So he says, I didn't work, he was not listening. I went to him and I says, tell me, when he asked you, or I told you that he is coming, why did you say yes? You know, the Germans, they are smart, they intelligent, they are educated, they are stupid anyway. So I says, why did you tell him that I told you that he is coming? No, I have to say the truth. Just here, after this, he was so good to us. I cannot, just, he got Spanish against Hitler too, in the camps, in the concentration camps. So when the war, the same sergeant went for a weekend to his house, Breslau. He came in, no house, no wife, no children. The same night he came back, we was listening, boom, boom, just we don't know what's going on. So he came back the same night, and he came into the office from that, with the red hat, the 3 soldiers was there, and he was there. He was crying. I came home, I don't see my wife, no children, no nothing. That was very close to the end.
Let's continue with what you did in the camp.
Yeah. So once we came to Auschwitz, And we were laying all on the bridges, you know, all, or maybe 100 of people. It was 1, 2, 3, we all were laying there. So we were laying a few days. It was in Auschwitz. It was so big. And the children were so hungry. And they brought in tall batchkis, how you say batchkis? What they
Barrels.
barrels with soups.
Marmalade.
So the people ran over and everything was out on the floor. And we couldn't, and Irene wanted a little bit for us. And Sylvia was laying on there, and the German, also, you have a woman, she grabbed it. She said that she took it. And she said no, she could talk already, but I fell off. She says, I'm going to give you to the Germans. And I fell to her legs, and I started kissing her. I don't know, she must have been good, because she felt sorry, and she let me go up.
Who was this woman? This was another woman in the
A
camp.
German, but she took care of us. All like police.
She was in charge of you.
Yeah, all like police. So we were laying and laying and laying. And it was no good. It was no good.
What did you do in the camp? I mean, how?
Nothing. They took us out 3 times a day. They call it Salapel. We were naked and barefoot.
Counting
the people.
Don't run away. Every 5 minutes they count the right now.
And we were standing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We were standing, Sylvia and Irene and I, we always hold each other like this so we didn't freeze. It was in the winter.
They didn't give you any clothes? No?
She got, somebody gave her a long skirt, I mean from the Germans, and they gave her a pair of shoes with high heels. We were all barefoot. Irene and I were naked and barefoot. And when they saw that people are warming themselves like this, with the bodies, they gave right away a buffet. We have to stay like this.
Lord.
So we all have to
Tell
stay
me
like
to whom you want to show this, what you...
Laat mag je de spoed hebben. So, the thing I'm going to tell you short into this, if it was not be for the God's wonder that a young German, that he must have been like you, your age, and he must really be a good boy, that he came for people, for his father's big factory slaves. They needed slaves, and they told him to go and take in Auschwitz. That was already in Bergen-Belsen. We were sent from Auschwitz to Bergen-Belsen. So we were in Bergen-Belsen.
Not just you three, not Grandpa.
Well, we didn't know. We didn't know if he's alive, and we didn't know if we are alive.
Right.
So when, what did they say? Yeah. So I didn't know what to do. Should I go with these 2 children? Is he going to take me? So I went over to him. And I said in German, mein Herr, möchten Sie mich nehmen mit die 2 kleinen Kinder?
Take me with the children.
He said, yes, go quick on the other side. You're not going to have a paradise, but you're going to have a soup and a place to sleep, and it's not cold.
Let me ask you, how long was this after you, this was in Bergen-Belsen?
In Bergen-Belsen.
How long from the day you came to Auschwitz is this, how long were you there?
They took us to Bergen-Belsen.
How long were you there? I mean,
we were
months?
there a year.
One year.
A year. You see, there, the people what were with us were to 5, 6 years what they were alive.
And what
we
year?
didn't believe that they have ovens in the, because they were talking to us when we were laying on these bridges. They said, oh, we see the fire, they burn our Jews and the children. I said, don't believe him. Don't believe him, it's not true, they don't burn anything. That's what I told them, because they would die right away on there.
Yeah.
So every day we went on a Zelapel.
Counting
the people. In Mengele came.
Dr. Mengele.
Dr.
This was in
Mengele.
Bergen-Belsen?
That was in Bergen-Belsen. And they
Before you went to the factory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was in the end. From there we got saved. In Bergen-Belsen, they took us every day make us the numbers. but something must have been wrong already, or they bombardeered Germany because they always let us
You
go
got no
back.
time to make the
Yeah,
numbers.
they run us back to the camp, into lay there, quiet. In this time, he came to take new people. They made all the, you know, scientists, what are they doing? They make test experiment. They took young children, they make experiment. They took always Sylvia. So he came and went over the whole thing. I must look still young and strong. So he's going to take me to work. In Irene too. In her, he took by the head,
You see, she
throw
was
her
now
into a
in a worse position. She was in a worse position than I. She'd have to take care of the two kids. I take care of my...
Ja. Mittendrin.
Let him speak, it's okay.
So I will forget, when I started at the it's coming back.
Experiments.
And he put her in that room. We didn't know what for he threw her in there. We saw just that everybody was laying on the ground and crying and yelling, we're going to our dads. So I fall to his legs, in Irene on the other side, and we said, please send us there too. So he opened the door and throw us both in there too. So we all three, and Sylvia's eye came out like this, and when she saw us, she was already saved. Because she wasn't alone. In a she came over, I don't know, the children she liked, that Irene was so beautiful, she looks like a shiksi exactly. And she came over to me, and she said, what did she say? I don't know, but she said to me,
I'm going to let you out.
She said, no, she said to me, don't worry, everything's going to be okay with you. And these people were knocking in the wall, they were turning their hair, they were yelling, Irene jumped on a little chair. And she said, what are you yelling? It's not going to help us anything anyway. We're going to die, we're going to die. So that she...
It's okay, stop.
Yeah, came over. Let us out through a door. I don't know where, but it was the concentration camp in another door. They knew the names, and they knew Bergen-Belsen. They used to call it names I didn't even know. I know it was one Auschwitz, one Bergen-Belsen. I didn't know anything.
You know why Auschwitz was so popular with the guessing the people? Bergen-Belsen, Auschwitz was a city, factories what they make the herring, whitefish.
All right, so they did.
So that's why they turn right over for people.
So listen to this. So she let us out, and I said, listen, we have to get...
This was the gas chamber.
Yeah, and I said, we have to get there. So whatever's going to happen to us is going to happen. Let's just wait. So they gave Sylvia that long skirt and high-heeled shoes. Couldn't walk anyway.
So this is when you first got there, this happened?
Yeah, in us, they just throw us a skirt and a little blouse and barefoot, and it was winter time. In the frost, when you hold the feet outside, they got to the ground, you couldn't tear the feet back out. So that's how we saved Sylvia the third time. Then from there, what that German young man took us, he took us to Auschwitz. It was on the, wie wird das gewesen, hinter Leipzig?
Leipzig, yeah.
Leipzig, Halle, on the Halle.
When you went to the factory?
To the factory. And he took us there. He said to me, don't worry, your children be safe there. At least you're going to have a soup. It's in a bed to sleep. So we were again naked and barefoot and hungry, and we were again in their hands. Sylvia got scarlet fever there. She get scarlet fever.
This was at the factory town in
Yeah,
Leipzig.
yeah. And she was too young to send her to a factory. They made airplanes. Wie haben sie geheißen, die airplanes?
Messerschmitt.
Messerschmitts. They were all Hungarian girls, 250 Hungarian girls upstairs, and we were 250 Polish women downstairs. They were from Krakow, the most beautiful, gorgeous girls. They were all sent to the factory. And in that factory was other slaves, men too, who were from Yugoslavia or from France or from here, from there. They loved these girls. They brought in always something to eat, a roll, a mapu, or something. But they could not be together, never.
You see, in Bergen-Belsen, they got no chamber.
Right.
So they got 40,000 dead people, and it was a hot day. So he was afraid it's going to be an epidemic. So the Germans make a big fire. And they took all the people, the dead people, on that fire. They make the power, America, England, Russia, and France, they make an agreement. They're going to jump on Germany from 4 corners. So it happened that Eisenhower came with the whole thing to Bergen-Belsen.
First.
And he saw, he was standing like this. He saw them. Just he catch all the Nazis. And he got his bodyguard, General Braun. He was speaking German. Well, Eisenhower never speak a word German. So he called him in. He says, "Bring him all here." I hear this with my ears. What he says. He says, "With these people here, you won the war. With us, you lost the war." And that was the end.
That was the end. So listen to this. In Auschwitz, they put her on in like a, how you say it, in a nursery, yeah, in a hospital, on the ground. She was laying on the ground.
When was
Sylvia, that was in Auschwitz. In Auschwitz. Bamsleben, Auschwitz, I don't remember.
Let's stop for a minute.
Yeah.
I was free not from Auschwitz. I was free from another camp. But the trial was in Nuremberg, 100 miles from Nuremberg. I don't remember the name from the camp. I got free there.
So you were at several camps, at many camps.
Oh, I was maybe in 6. Everybody, not just me.
Yeah, we were to Auschwitz, Bergen-Belsen, in Buchenwald. I think in Buchenwald Sylvia got sick, that's right. And then he took us from Buchenwald and sent us there.
Let's talk about the liberation. Where were you when it happened, and how did it happen?
The liberation?
Describe it.
I don't know. They let us out. They were carrying us to place, and they let us sleep in farmers on the hay. They let us lay in there, and when it became quiet, they took us again. So it must have been something wrong because we didn't know anything. But one officer saw that this woman was beating the Jews, so he said, "You better stop beating them." So she said, "I am going to report you to Hitler." So he said, "You better stop beating him, you're going to be beat at the same way." And they became all of a sudden nice. And they start calling my children Kindchen. And that was really something not heard of, because Irene couldn't walk anymore. She got open wounds on the legs, and she couldn't walk. And Sylvia was the baby, but she just became well from the scarlet fever. Whatever she left in the scarlet fever floor, we took it out quick and we eat it. Because we were hungry, we didn't care. So, what did I say? I forgot.
The liberation.
Yeah, that she said, they let us out, that we should take care. They didn't come back. They let us out.
This was, where were you? You were at a bar?
We were in Germany. We don't know where we were.
But so, the guards all of a sudden
Yeah, they disappeared to the woods.
Were you in a camp?
Yes, that must be Buchenwald, that must have been. So,
When did you first see the Americans?
the Americans I saw in Auschwitz.
So no, the guards left, and then what happened?
No, I tell you who saved us, the Polacks. So I was going, I had to cook something for the children, so we going from garbage to garbage, and we were picking out the skin from the potatoes. And this we were cooking, and everybody came and begged a little bit. They said, "Oh, Mrs. Gill, you're such a good cook." I cook him the soup, and that's what we were eating. Then I saw all of a sudden they let us go here, they let us go there, they let us go to look for food we couldn't get, but the Germans didn't let us in to the houses because we were wearing the pashakis, the dresses like prisoners, and the heads all shaved up, so they were scared of us, and they were still afraid.
Right.
So they didn't let us in. We started walking, still with the Germans. They took us in the thousands. So Irene sat on a step, and she said, "I'm not going anymore." So the officer, a woman, came over to her. She says, "Kindchen, come on," like to say it's the end.
Yeah.
But we didn't know. But Sylvia grabbed her on one side, and I grabbed her on the other side, and that's how we were walking. So, what can I tell you more?
When did it end? When were you safe?
When we say we saw people running and coming back with bags. I didn't know where they're running.
In a town or something, or?
It must have been to the railroad. They opened the wagons and they took out whatever. So I said, everybody runs there. Let's go, baby, we can find the bread. So I was running that stupid head. We were not thieves, never.
Right.
So I grabbed corn, a bag with corn, and I was carrying on my back and went into a German. And I said, "You have to make us from this something." She said,
Do you know
I
how
can't,
many-
I have no place. I said, "You have to make us something," but they were already scared. So she melted for us and gave us a place. I stopped a bit, and I made a babka for the kids, a babka, that they should have a bread. Others came with diamonds and gold, and I was running for a piece of bread for the kids.
You know how many people from the Jewish people died from the Americans in the thousands. But you know one thing, the American army in the big shot, you know one thing, that the people are hungry.
So they gave them
They give them to eat, and the food was not acceptable, but the system was out. You have to feed these people with cereal, milk, not meat. They give them
They gave meat right away, and it made you
salamis, with steaks. They died.
So listen to this.
I know when I was out, they started to feed them with cereal, with the lightest food what you ever saw, until you got to the piece
your
of meat.
strength. Yeah. So let's continue with Grandpa.
So
And how did you? Where were you when you were liberated?
Huh?
Where were you when you were liberated? How did you finally become liberated?
who liberated you?
The Russians,
In the
The
lager.
Americans.
the Americans.
Yeah,
So-
in lager.
In Lager, yeah.
Oh,
You-
so he
Then I ran right away to Lodz, looking for them.
Wait. First, you were.
liberated.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So the guards were there 1 minute, and then they weren't, or
Yeah.
what happened?
I told you that
They were afraid to open the doors because they were electric.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
in
see
the
that,
camp.
Yeah.
the fence was electrified. You
So
can't-
they were
so
sitting.
so they was afraid. I said, wait a minute.
Who was afraid?
The people
was
from
afraid
they were
to
laying
go
on
out
the
to
bridge.
touch a wire. I says, we're going to find out right away. I was the smartest.
Yeah.
So I took a wreck, like a jacket or something, and I throw on the fence. When it's not burning, that means it's over. So then I went and I touched it, it's all over. Then the people started to go.
And then, when did you first see an American?
When I told you, when they make up a deal, the four powers, they came in.
Och when hast du gesehen ersten Amerikaner? Vi ska ligga in concentration
I know,
camp.
but you opened the doors, and then what did you do?
A man came in. We was in the camps, laying on the, you know, came in. He says, "I think the war is over." So he says to him, "You must be crazy. He must have been not normal. The war is over." And all of a sudden, a man came in from the people. And he brought maybe 8 or 10 breads. So everybody jumped on him, and he took away the breads. Then we saw the Germans came in. They says the war is over. And he took us. He got a separate kitchen, cooking for the army. Then a big kitchen with meat, with flour, everything. Take over. He says by himself. And every German says, "Oh, it's not my fault, and it is my fault, and it's my."
Was I a bad man? Was I a bad man?
So I came out of the concentration camp. So the first thing I went to Lodz. How I came to Lodz it's unbelievable. No people can understand how walking. So I was sure that she is with the children back, like I came back.
Yeah.
I came to Lodz. I don't see nobody. I was undernourished. I was maybe 65 pounds. And I don't see nobody from friends that you should have pity on me to take me and to feed me. So on the last minute I says, I'm going to go and look over for that Edward. Because I don't remember where he was living. Because I know this section. So I went to this section and I was going from house to house, from house to house. And I asked for the name. The name I remember, where they lived. So I went in. I was looking worse than a beggar. When I came, knocked on the door, his mother opened the door. She don't recognize me. Opened the door and she took out the pocketbook. She wants to give me a couple of pennies. She says, "No, I don't came for pennies. I want to come to see Edward." He says, how do you know Edward? What it was you? She don't recognize me. I went to the wedding. She knows me like, and she don't recognize me. So I says, I don't come for charity. Just I came to see Edward. Is Edward a friend to you? And Edward was living on the same building with his mother. Just when I came, he went with his mother to a movies.
The wife.
With the wife. He got married in the wartime. So we went a couple of times, forth and back to ask, Edward is back from the movies. I says to her, "Mrs. Kosanovska, did you know who I am?" She says, "I don't know who I am." I says, "I'm Edward's boss." And I says, "Edward's boss," she fall on the knees and she, "That's you." When I came in, she's held to the husband and to the children. "This is Mr. Henry Gill. This is Edward's boss." And he received me different. So finally, Edward came with his wife to the house. She don't say nothing. Just see, I was sitting next to the door. He looked at me. So she says to him, the mother, "Edward, did you know who that man is? This is Mr. Henry Gill, your boss." He don't know what to do. He was sure that I came to him to take the machine.
That's scared.
And I told him right away, "Listen, I don't come to you for the machine, just I came to you for help. What kind of help you need, we're going to give it to you." So I said, "First of all, I need underwear, and I need a bath." So his mother took right away a big pot, but there was no bathrooms there. A pot in soap, and she cooked a big pot with water. And she took a big thing what you wash laundry. And she took me in that. She took a brush what you scrub the floors, and she was rubbing me to take out the dirt what I got. It was not, you can wash it, but it was, all right. I was there a month in his house. I was sleeping in a nice clean bed. You see how bad the Polacks got, he still got better than the Jews. And I was eating there and sleeping there. I says, this is enough. Now I want to go to see my business. He says, maybe you need some money, my fellow. I says, yes, I want to buy a jacket, underwear, and a pair of shoes. So he says, I'm going to give you 800 zloty. That was not too much. Just you can buy off the black market. I bought a jacket, and I bought shoes, the stockings, shirts, and I put in a jacket. Just when I put in the jacket, but like this, I noticed something is. I opened. It was 2,500 zlotys.
Somebody had put in the lining.
They saved the money, you know, any place. So then I went to my barber shop. Was a man from another city. He took over. You see, they grab everything what he got the chance to take. I want to shave. All right. He don't know that I'm the owner from that place. I want to shave. He says, all right, give me a shave. How much is a shave? 150 zloty. It was not much. For me, it was a lot. I says, all right, I'm going to give you 140 zlotys. Now, next time I'm going to come for a shave, I'm going to give you the 10 zlotys. When you don't have money, you don't supposed to come for a shave here. So mad. So I says, you know what, I'm going to tell you something. This place is not yours. This place is mine.
They were scared at that time, but the Jews started.
So he says, what? This place is mine. Have you witnesses? Wait a minute. I went into the house, and the janitor was still there, and I brought him to the store, and he says, Michael, in Polish is Michal. Whose barbershop is this? He says, mine. We started to be right away different. He says, I'm going to take back this place. He says, you have to give me 5,000 zloty. I don't got no money. Just right away, they organized a committee, a Jewish committee. The Polish government gave them 1 million zloty to help the people that came out from the concentration camp.
The Polish government did that?
Yeah. Yes, I got connections with the committee, but he was sitting there. I came up, I says, my name, you know my name, I got the business here and here, and I can get back the business. Yes, I need 5,000 zlotys. Yes, he says, we can give 5,000 zlotys. The most we can give 2,000, 2,500. Just, you know me, you know I'm going to give him back. He gave me $5,000. I went to him, and I gave him the $5,000, and I got back the barbershop, and I started to work. I was so busy that I had to hire either way 2 people. And he was working in the meantime. My brother's brother-in-law went every day to the railroad station to ask or his wife is alive or she come on. So I says, when you go there, ask or she is alive or about the children that are alive. Ask. Do you ask for you? Ask for me too.
That's what everybody, well, listen to this.
So
Yeah.
okay.
When we were running, we didn't want to run anymore with the American, and they said, remember, you don't want to go, we're going to go alone and you're going to get right here killed. We didn't get up from the ground. We were sitting, and they were running alone away. Then the Poles had a big Arbeitslager, a big camp, what they took him for working, not a concentration camp, but for working. So they came over, a few Poles. One was Kazi, a young man, and one was from Chicago. No, that was an American from Chicago. There were these few Polacks, and they said, don't worry. You stay where you are. Don't go any place. We're going to take you to the woods. You're going to stay there in the daytime, and in the night we're going to take you into the camp, and you're going to sleep there. In the front still went in the Wach, wie heißt es, the guard. In the front went the guard, but they took us, and the one took right away off his shirt and gave Sylvia to put on. One took off his shoes.
Who gave the?
The Polacks, what they were working for the Germans.
Oh, okay.
They took him from Poland, I don't know from where, or they were from Bydgoszcz, or they were from Warsaw, but I don't know, not from Lodz. And they took him and they start bringing us food to the woods. And they said we should sit quiet because we are still around Germans. They can shout it to us. And in the night, we were more safe with them than with American soldiers because I had two young girls. They brought in water. They told us to make a bath to wash ourselves. And this one took off this shirt, this one took off his this, and they gave us their thing to put on that we shouldn't look like these runaway sings.
Prisoners.
Yeah. So they helped us, and then the rabbi came when the Americans started going in. These people, the men who were in the lager, they saw the Americans coming in on the trucks, not on the trucks, on the tanks. But we didn't because they saved us, they hold us there.
So you were in the woods?
In the woods. And so the rabbi who came into our city, wird es geheißen, Wandsle, ja, an der Halle.
Halle in the Saal, Wandsle.
Bitterfeld. Let's have Bitterfeld.
That's where you were?
Yeah. That was all beautiful. The German cities are all gorgeous. It was a little city, but it was beautiful. Nicer than Malden, you know. So the rabbi came there with all American troops, and he took right away a palace, a German palace. He was in the palace there, quartered, and he had a shamus who take care of him, to a soldier. And he
was it an American?
American, all
American
American.
rabbi.
Yeah, but I didn't know that he's a rabbi because he was shaved and looked so young. And when we were sitting all at the...
Was he dressed like a soldier?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he said, he sent other soldiers, American, to that Polish camp. They heard that we are Jews here. They saved a few Jews, and they want to take care of them. So these Polacks want to go with us.
To the relocation camp?
Yeah. So we said, okay, we take you, and you say that you are Jewish. Whatever you need, we get from the rabbi settled that the Kaji who saved us and brought up the first clothes he took off and gave Sylvia. He took a German with all Hitler's monograms, a leather jacket, not a word that got no so much. He put that on. The others took other clothes. We went right away for shoes and everything. And the rabbi said to us, you cannot stay here. You have to go to an apartment. This is a Polish camp. You cannot stay with Polish people here. So he gave us German apartments, not big ones, 2 rooms in a kitchen, in a bathroom, everybody, you know.
Who gave you this now?
The rabbi.
The rabbi.
Gave us a card. In the letters.
What city were you in now?
That was in Bitterfeld.
Bitterfeld. He got
And,
names.
yeah, and he gave us right away cards to go to buy butter, in milk, in whatever, I don't know what.
At this point, you were thinking of returning to Poland, right?
That's what we thought. We didn't know. No, I didn't want to go to Poland from the beginning. How else would I go to America?
Where did you want to go to America?
I said no. I didn't know where we go to Israel. Remember, to Israel. In Israel was not free that time.
Right.
Was it free or not? So we wanted to go to Israel, but the Haganah came to us, and they said,
The English Haganah.
yeah. Israeli Haganah who were fighting for England.
Yeah.
Okay.
not English. Yeah, there were Hebrew people, and they said to us, if they go somebody come from the big shots from America, and they will ask us where we want to go, we should say Israel, not America, because they need more people to go to Israel, and then they're gonna see that Israel should be free. So that's what we did. Mrs. Roosevelt came.
Did you see her?
Oh yes, she was. Were you already from Poland?
In Salzwedel.
Salzwedel. General Clay came to our house. Who else?
Mrs. Roosevelt.
Mrs. Roosevelt, General Clay, and then another few generals, very big shots. I'd forgot the names. They all came to see. And they said Irene, like Irene would be known, a film star. Oh, this is Irene's mother. This is Irene's mother to the general, because she worked right away in an American canteen, because she was the only one who could speak English. She was 15 years old, so she spoke already English, because she went to a private school and they bought the teach. Yeah. And that's how we got. That's how we got liberated. And how did I know that he's alive?
How did you? So at this point, Grandpa wasn't with you. He was.
No, he wasn't in our house.
They took all refugees to a camp in Salzwedel. It was 12,000 refugees.
But you were not
But they got saved from the camps.
Yeah.
So and the Americans were already in Germany.
In Germany.
And I was in Frankfurt.
Wird geheißen, the Fabrik, the Farbenfabrik.
IG Farm Industry.
That's the biggest.
IG Farm Industry, the biggest factory in Germany.
In Europe, and I bet you in America too.
So they came
was.
To the camp, American officers, and he says, who's a tailor, a baker, a cook, a barber, whatever he is. So I'm a barber, he is a baker. So he picked up 400 people. Every morning he came with a truck. He took us to the Frankfurt, Marbach, that was a little town. For this, I was working for the CIC, this is the Secret Service, from the Americans.
He was a barber.
From the Americans.
Yeah, and there was a lot of officers and soldiers, and he was...
I was working there. The price was at 12 barbers was in the barber shop. I was the commander from the 12. So an officer, a soldier came in, you have to pay 20 pfennig for a haircut and sign the name. So a sergeant came in, but he was he make the papers for the army, newspapers for the army.
The press.
The press. He came in, I gave him a haircut. He was a Jewish fellow. And he talked to me, I was not speaking English, so he spoke to me in Jewish. He said, what are you planning to do, stay in Germany? Never. I want to go out. You have nobody in America? I said, yes, I have 3 brothers in Cleveland, Ohio. But I am from Cleveland. So he went right away to his room, he brought a camera, he made me a picture, and he put in the whole Megillah in the letter. We sent this to Cleveland. My brother was sitting Sunday reading the Globe. He saw, look, Henry's here. He started.
How did you get together?
That's what I start talking in here, knack tarana ponieważ. So when I was, when we got liberated, and we went to Bielefeld, came an order that Americans have to let the Russians come into Bielefeld and they have to move. So Jirka was knocking her head in the wall. She's not going to go where the Russians are. She wants to go with the Americans. And cried. Sylvia was still a child. She didn't know.
Did she meet the first husband there?
Yes, that's right. So listen to this. The rabbi said, don't worry. Wherever we go, we take you. We're going to Frankfurt. We're going to take you. So they took us. It took us to go, God knows how many weeks. You slept today and you slept
How
tomorrow.
did you get reunited with Grandpa?
That's what I want to tell you.
Oh, okay.
When we were there.
You were going to America already.
Yeah, without
And
him, I didn't know if he's alive. So the government gave us a hotel, the Hamburger Hof,
In
in Frankfurt, and they let us all in there. In an American, like a rabbi, was the eldest over us. We called them the rabbi, the eldest from the Juden.
He was the big shot from the group.
And we had a kitchen in the basement, and because I had 2 children, that Józek, you know, but we have a Polish friend in Florida. They gave him to me too. So I had 2 girls and a boy, and I took care of him, and another girl they gave me. They gave me, I had 3 girls and a boy, and I lived in one room, and I got food from the basement, and I was given to everybody. I was vigilaczka, wie heißt es?
She was the boss to take out the food.
Not me, the hundreds of other. And the Germans put on a Mugendovit right away, a Jewish star. And they all said the Jewish, we all gave him soup. If they came for a soup, we gave him.
This is the German citizens in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Didn't have to eat.
Who knows? They were afraid or something. They came, they wanted to be Jewish. All. So one man came in, and he cried there, and he told the American rabbi that he is looking for a wife with 2 daughters. He said, we have her here, on the 3rd floor. He came up to run, knocked in the door. I opened, and he saw that this is not his wife and his children. And I said, who are you? He said, Lodz was a big city. I didn't know him, he didn't know me. But him, everybody knew.
The mayor.
Yeah. So he said, I said to him, he said, where's your husband? And I said, I don't know. You hear? And I said, I don't know where my husband is. We never saw him from the separation, and we don't know if he's alive. So he said, I saw him. I said, are you making fun of me? He said, no. What was his name? I said, Henry Gulder. He had a barbershop of Salzwedel, so-and-so. He said, before I came here, I went to his barbershop. And I saw him, and he's alive.
Who's this man? Do you remember his name?
Who? No. No. So I ran down, and I said this. So the Americans said they're going to send me and 2 other young, very young women, what they knew to the husband's son Lodz, or someplace else. And we're going to go to look for them, if they are alive. So God made difference.
They give him a jeep, an American jeep.
An officer was at the jeep driving with us 3 women, the 2 young ones, 2 beautiful, one brunette, 1 blonde, 2 blondes, and me. And we drive.
To see if you can find your husband.
Yeah, we come already to Heidelberg, the big college, Heidelberg. We come to Heidelberg, and we stopped. We stopped there. He stopped. He had to go. And Heidelberg was all the Americans lived in a big palace right on the ocean, on the sea, or the ocean. I don't know. It wasn't an ocean. It must have been a lake. And here they were living in the palaces. And the grapes were growing right into their mouth. And here was the mountains. You never saw such a high mountains in your life. And in the middle was the water. So he stopped there. And he told us to sit and be quiet. And he went out. He went out. We had an accident. A truck, an American truck.
That time was when Patton was killed.
That time?
At
that time, yeah. In an American truck. And when I thought I'm dead too. And I left the 2 children in the house with that boy, Józek. And with that other girl,
When would happen? The truck hit the
it
Jeep?
hit off the Jeep, yeah.
And you were still in the car?
And we were in the car when I opened my...
Until now, they don't know how Patton got killed. He got killed from that accident.
Oh, dat accident. Ah, jag hackade ut en kopparbench för sig. Dat
It's
accident.
okay.
Ingen du har hege kan man patten till
Grandma.
a general.
Yeah.
Don't hack him in Chinese.
En
It's
rige kommer med att truck uppläggning.
It's all right.
Poor water.
My
So-
first case will be your divorce, right?
Yeah. So listen to this. I opened my eyes in a black man. Black, like just,
Direct.
I never saw such a black man. I never saw a black man. When I opened my eyes, I said, I'm not going further. That God showed me a black cat that I shouldn't go. I shouldn't go, something gonna happen to my children. In the other girl went over to him. It made it like this. We never saw black men in Poland. So I went back.
From Heidelberg to
In
Frankfurt.
Heidelberg, I slept overnight. And right away was a man, he wanted to marry me.
Oh,
Yeah, he looked like,
had no muscle.
he looks like wie hat geheißen, the German. Gehring, was zugeschaut,
Yeah,
gehargert.
He looks like Gehring.
He
you
looks
know,
like
that-
Gehring. And I said, why do you look for me? You are here so long. Are there so many refugees? So he said, they're no good. And I see that you're going to be a good woman, so I want to marry you. I said, I can't marry you. I think my husband is alive.
This was in Frankfurt?
That was in Heidelberg. In Heidelberg.
How long did you spend in Heidelberg?
Overnight. We slept there and they feed us and everything. And then he took us back to Frankfurt, the officer with the jeep. I said, I'm not going. And when I came, to the children started crying. Oh, it's so good that you came back. We were alone. We didn't know what to do. So I fall in like, you know. And then after this, he find out that we are alive in Poland.
How did you find out that they were alive?
You know, I got a pass from the Americans that I can go look. When I says my wife is alive with the children, she is here and here. I got a pass. I can go with the train, with food, with everything, don't charge a penny. So I was running around in all cities. In whatever you're going to say, I was.
Das ist doch nicht die Zeit, wie er soll das gewinnen, hat man lebt.
So I says, I decided, I went back to the Frankfurt, to the railroad station, I'm going back to Lodz. I saw a man, a friend of mine from Lodz, and I says, tell me, I always talked to him, so I was around all over to see
But
him.
you were running. You have to know that we are alive. Who
So-
told you that we are alive?
This is his part of the story.
Yeah, tell him how this was.
So
I
he
told
says,
you.
listen, you want to know everything, or they are alive or not, you have to go to Munich. In Munich is the UNRWA, an organization what you have from everybody who is dead and who's alive. So the communication was not so easy to go forth and back.
We were going back and forth.
So I went to Munich and I went to that office and I asked for them. He says, yes, they are alive. They are in Munich, in the Frankfurt. And they got the hotel there. I came back to, 3 days took me to go from Munich to Frankfurt. So I saw a girl was standing in front of the hotel. He says, can you tell me whether the woman is supposed to be here and they are not here? He says, all people what they was here, he sent them to Salzheim to a camp.
A relocation camp.
Yeah. So she was waiting for her brother. I says, I am, did you know maybe my wife or the name so-and-so? Oh, yes, I know. She left a note in the hotel. Her brother supposed to come, that he should come to Salzheim. And she took me by walking to Salzheim, 3 miles, just 3 miles. Maybe a mile or a mile and a half further up, Irene saw me. She recognized me. She was running to me, yelling.
She was already working.
Then we came to the camp. We united, and then I let
Where
know
did she work? In Frankfurt?
in Frankfurt in the
Yeah.
BX.
Yeah.
And she, that the sergeant from the press, from the army, connected
From Cleveland.
Cleveland. They started to work to make out paper. So
They
when we
paid
went on the they paid
$500, yeah.
$550 for
For
us.
us, the
We
three.
went to Cleveland, and then came out.
Of was er not toch eens geweest of de gasten nog? Of Jirkis?
English. Speak English.
Were you on Irene's wedding? No. Irene got married between this, but he wasn't there, alive.
Yeah, I was to the wedding in the shul in Frankfurt.
So why did you say no?
No, I forgot.
This
So-
was the
so-
Harvey?
No, Stanley.
Stanley,
Yeah.
I have a picture here.
the American.
Yeah.
The American soldier.
Oi.
So,
Yeah.
so
He's a handsome boy.
he paid $550. Now we came back to Cleveland. The organization gave me back $50. He paid over.
Ja, dat als Kessel staat drinnen.
Was?
Met de pictures in that closet.
So. When we went on the ship and we was almost in Cleveland, Truman
That's
give an order to let in 200,000 refugees from Europe to America for nothing.
So I paid back one brother, but the rest didn't want to take any money.
Where did you arrive in New York? New York?
In New York.
New York, yeah. In New York, I got right away a joke.
What was the joke?
I was standing waiting for a bus. A man came to me and asked me in English, "What time is it now?" I don't speak a word English. He said, I said, "Are you Jewish?" He said, "You have 8 million people in New York. He found me to tell you."
You came by boat? Did you see the Statue of Liberty?
Oh,
When you were-
yeah.
yeah.
How was that?
Yes, we were outside. I was crying. I'm never going to see that sight again. The ocean, you know, the Atlantic. I said, I'm never going to see Atlantic Ocean again. In the meantime, I was more on the Atlantic Ocean flying than I would live all my life in Poland. So we came to America. We were in his brother's house. We were 9 months in Cleveland. But Irene lived here. She got married to that American, and she lived here. And she saw that she did the wrong thing because she was uneducated, intelligent, brought up, nice girl with a moron
He says
who
that
spoke English.
he says that his father has a factory for cars. He showed pictures. Then he sent pictures from the factory from Boston that his father is the owner of the factory, and he has secretaries, and he's no, listen, she married a millionaire.
No.
So she came here. He was a beggar.
And no, she wrote us a letter to Cleveland, and she said that in Polish. Can I say it in Polish?
Is that every time in Polish?
No, I mean here.
That's okay, and then translate it. Say it in
Yeah,
Polish first.
and she says, Mama, wpadłam jak śliwka do smoły.
She fell in a barrel from tar.
Mama, I
And it
fell.
can't go out.
Yeah.
I fell into a barrel of tar. I can't get out.
First of all,
here.
when I came here,
It's a horrible home.
he never know that we're going to come so fast. I was connected with the big shots. He was a director in Cleveland in telephone company. He asked me the same thing. You don't have nobody in America? I says, yes, I have 3 brothers in Cleveland. I am the director for the telephone company. He was a colonel in the army. So in that time came the first diplomat, ambassador to Frankfurt. People were standing day and nights in the line for the visa to go to America. So listen, I told him I have 3 brothers and I like to go. I lost everybody. He got pity on me. He says, tomorrow morning be ready. We go to the embassy, to the American embassy. I'm going to talk to you. You know, he was lying to the ambassador. He says, he works for us. He's a barber. We need him. Just he has nobody. He lost everybody. He has 3 brothers in Cleveland. I beg you to give him. I got the visa.
So we were the first people to
And
get
he says
out.
to me, when you're going to come to Cleveland and I'm going to be there, come to see me, I'm going to give you a present.
We went to the Jewish organization here, to the Jewish council. In the whole walls were of our pictures, and it was a Bergen-Belsen, and it was, they said that who was coming to America, the one who came to America the first, what was his name?
Columbus.
Columbus. It was just a holiday for them, like Columbus came to America.
How many
Yeah.
did you lose in the war?
Who?
Of
We?
the family.
How much?
How many people did you lose in the war?
Everybody. My 5 brothers, my 3 sisters, and I am the only one left with our name. Every time I go to my
Nephews and nieces and friends, everything.
and everything, and every time I go to my father's picture, to my father, I said, I am the last of your name. We lost everybody. So that, thank you. I wouldn't do this when somebody gives me a hug. We back there, doctor, again from the beginning.
Yep.
From the beginning. The children were killed first. Sylvia was very young. The doctor in Bergen-Belsen, Mengele, sent Sylvia to one line and sent my mother and me to another. We begged the doctor to be sent with Sylvia. We thought we'll live together or we'll die together. Something happened. I don't know. I don't know what. And we were sent to the gas chamber. The will to live the will to live and enjoy is much stronger in us. That's right. I want to squeeze this lemon dry. To Irene, Schulman, and Sylvia Kaplan.